our trailer set right.
Is it still a trailer park?
It's a trailer park, yeah. I see you set back in there.
It's probably a different trailer by now.
Oh, that trailer, we sold it. I sold it for, I think, $1,500. I paid $1,000 for it, so I made $500 on it after living in it a while. Bean didn't like that too good.
All right, so tell me how you guys got involved in starting to sell at the Blackfoot.
Oh, that really something. The guy's name was Roy Howell. He was the manager of the fair. About 1963 or 4 or 5, something like that. I was trying to sell him stuff, I was trying to sell him things for the fair, some of their supplies and things. And he said, "Why don't you rent a booth in our commercial building there, and you can sell your stuff in there. You meet a lot of businessmen there, and you can have that corner piece there. You can have the whole thing if you want for $100, or you can just buy half of it for $50. And I thought, well, I don't need the whole thing, but I think I'd take half of it for $50. And the fair started on Labor Day and ran till Saturday. Labor Day and then ran till Saturday all the time. So I went home, told Jeannie that I've made a deal with the fair and I'm going to be in the fair this year. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my advertising products to the businessmen that would come by. So I bought this board from a rug company that sold carpets, and they had carpet samples in a little thing like a book that turned over. Each page had about 20 of those pages that had these carpet samples in them. Well, I took the carpet samples and threw them away, or maybe I didn't even get them. The guy probably kept the carpet samples because he'd sell them for 50 cents or something.
Right.
Anyway, I bought this here big thing that would have these metal things that flew back and forth. Well, I figured, I'll get some pegboard and I'll cut it to the size of the carpet squares. Then I'll slide it down in there and we'll wire all the samples to the pegboard, and then I'll be able to turn, we'll go from one to another and have written underneath there how much they are and how much they, so much a piece, 100 minimum, so much a piece, 250 minimum. I had key tags and all kinds of rulers and all kinds of stuff. And I had Arnetta Pincock, Jeannie's friend. She came over, she worked for us a little bit, and she wired all those things to all those boards. Had calendars on there. I had all kinds of advertising pieces on there. So anyway, we took it to Blackfoot the day of the fair, and I made up some flyers about here. No, this is where you going? This is where I went before. See, I went up that road.
Pocatello. You don't want to.
Oh no! You're right. I'm sorry. You went under the freeway already.
Grandpa.
You're on the old highway now. Stop. Let's make a U-turn in here. Go back. I'm sorry. You already went under the freeway. See that? I saw that where it said Pocatello. You should have ignored what I said. I'm sorry that
That's okay.
even bothered you at all. You're driving. You should have just did what you're supposed to do.
Like, you scared me. I'm like, I'm going the wrong way.
No, that's what I did. But I didn't see the first. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I didn't see the first, the exit sign. Maybe you could flip a U and go back on.
I just got somebody behind me, so I'm going to wait for them to pass.
You got somebody behind you?
Yeah, I don't want to flip in front of them. I want to wait for
Oh
them to
yeah,
pass.
let him go by. Anyway, I didn't go under the freeway like you just did. I went and made that turn, and I was on the dang exit sign, not the entrance. I was so aggravated at myself. I think I had to drive all the way back to Blackfoot.
That was 1965. That was your first year doing the fair?
In the 60s, like that.
Okay.
And so I made these boards, and I went to the fair, and that very first day, people would come to the fair and they'd say, "Ooh, I want one of those. I want one of those." We don't sell just one. We sell them by the 100, by the 250 or whatever. Oh, I can't sell you just one. Oh, man. And there weren't many businessmen coming in saying, "Gee, we'd like to buy some of those." You know, there's all people, general people.
Right.
Now, here's where you're going to get, now watch where it says Pocatello, and then you go on. Right, here it is. Here it is, my darling. Watch out for the cars. Okay. This is the Pocatello one right here.
I thought I saw it.
Yeah, shoot, see? The other one's the exit, and that's what I got on and went, so crap. Now I got to go clear back to the other exit and then turn around and come back and be on the freeway. So, anyway, so Jean and I said, well, shoot. See, Jean was up here too. And she was disappointed that all the people, they just all wanted, "I'll take one of those. I'd like one of those, you know, one of those frost scrapers." No, we don't sell one frost scraper. We sell them by the 100, you know, with your name on them. I don't want my name on them. So, you know, shoot. What we ought to do is go and gather up a whole bunch of our samples we got there in Pocatello, bring them up here, put them on a table, and put 15 cents on them, 25 cents on them, 50 cents on them, bunch of ballpoint pens, you know.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of ballpoint pens on the board, wired to the board. Oh, I'll take a couple of those ballpoint pens. I'm not going to unwire it off of the board to give you one.
Right.
So the board idea died right then. We're not even going to sell off on the board because there weren't many businessmen coming through there wanting to buy anything, but all the public did.
Yeah.
So we had pens and yardsticks and paint paddles and key tags and every kind of thing you could imagine.
And then misprints, right?
Misprints. Well, we weren't in the misprint business yet.
Okay. I just remember all the misprints when I was a kid.
We had made up. My one salesman in Idaho Falls had made up had sold this promotion to the Chamber of Commerce up there. They wanted 25,000 bags. 25,000 bags that they could sell for a quarter or a dime. I mean, it was only 10 cents. I think they were 10 cents.
What are they, canvas bags? Or?
No, they'd have coupons for hamburgers in them, 2-for-1 hamburgers. They wanted something like a comb, a key tag in there, and we'd staple them up for the guys.
Oh, okay.
And we sold them 2,500 of them for 10 cents each. But we had to make them up for the people. So I made up all these bags and put a staple in them. They were just brown paper bags, little ones about that high.
Did the bags have their logo on them?
No. They're just
grab bags.
They were grab bags that they could sell at the promotion, and they had like a diamond ring was in one, a bicycle was in, certificate for a bicycle, and there was all watches and things like that.
So the
mixed in with all this here 10 cent stuff.
And the grab bag was their idea then?
Yeah, they wanted me to come up with some things that would have value to them.
Right.
At least a dime. So I contacted some of my manufacturers, said I want to buy something that won't cost me more than like 2 cents. Have you got a bunch of misprints in your place? They had pens galore. People would sell me pens. One outfit sold me those rulers that wind out for a nickel. They were 36-inch metal rulers that rolled up into a little roll. And then you stretched them out. They rigid,
Right.
For a nickel. My heck, give me 5,000 of them. $250 worth. They sent them to me. Some of them were printed. Some of them were not printed on yet. Anyway, I had all this stuff. We made up those bags, and we sent them up to the Idaho Falls, but we made more than we needed. Because the guy, my salesman that made the sale, we made maybe 400 or 500 more than we needed. Maybe it wasn't that many. We took those bags up there.
Right.
And then we made up some ourselves. and sold them for $0.25 by sticking, old thing, a pen and a comb and a key tag and all that in these bags, and we sold them at the fair. So we took those up there and sold them. And so we did real good selling all our samples. My goodness sakes, we'd come home with $100, $200. Wow.
And the company gave you the samples for free, right?
Oh, no. We bought them for 2 cents, 3 cents. The samples we ordered from, to sell, some of those were free, that we'd order a sample kit, although we paid like $1 or $2 for a sample kit, had like 20, 30 items in the kit,
Gotcha.
The key tag company, we'd buy a sample kit. We'd buy 2 or 3 sample kits because I was, had salesmen that we'd like to give them to, to go out and sell stuff. Anyway, that's how we got going, and so that one, we just really sold like crazy the rest of the week, just selling all our samples. We made so much more than $50. It was amazing. So we thought, we're going to do that again. So then from then on, we was there every year. We had that. Later, as we went by, I wished I had bought both sides of that end because we never had enough room to put stuff in. Later, we started taking toys up from our toy business. That was another thing. We were already making up our toy boxes of for the churches and the schools, because everybody had a fish pond that they always had, and we would make up 100 boxes and sell them for $10.99. We would sell them for like a 200 box. It would cost like 5 to 6 cents. 200 items in a box would be $10.99, 5.5 cents an item.
Right.
Or the 100 items were 10 cents an item, and the 50 for $10.99 were the 50-cent items. And we would have different values in the, people would, give me 3 50-cent, give me 4 100 items, and give me 10 of the 200 items. And they would use the prizes in their different games. And we did that for years and years. And boy, the kids had to make them up. We had to make up those toy boxes and by the hundreds. And we would sell them. And so I took a bunch of those up there. Had all those toys and things, and we'd throw them on our table. Man, people were buying those like crazy. Wow. That was the way to go. Let's sell toys. So then I started buying toys special for the fair, because I never had a store. We never had a store until we bought the store in Salt Lake there, the SOS. We opened that in 1987. Eileen and I used to sell stuff to the guy that was in the store. I used to sell to him when he was over at Bobco's, where the swap meet is now. That was called Bobco's. I think it wasn't Bobco's. There wasn't Bobco's. Anyway, I kept selling them my pen pad, huh?
Shopco.
Not Shopco, no. No, it was later it became Food for Less. But when it was Shopco or Bobco, it was Bobco. That's what it was, Bobco. I used to make up pen packages. 6, in fact, I still do. Put 6 pens in a package, and I would sell them to them for 60 cents. So I would buy the pens from the manufacturer. They were misprints and stuff. I'd buy them, and I'd put them in 6 of them in a package, and I would wholesale them to them for 60 cents, and they'd sell them for $1. And I would sell them all kinds of stuff that I could buy and make deals for this Bobco. Well, finally, they told me one day that I had to have a UPC code on my merchandise I'm selling, because they're going to scan stuff across they're not going to have stickers on anything. Oh man, I don't have a UPC code, so I couldn't sell them anymore. I wasn't smart enough to go get my own UPC code, because it cost I don't know how much money to get a UPC code, but it wasn't very much in those days at all. But I didn't want to. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll just not sell them. So anyway, Bob Kalin was the guy I sold to over at Bobco's. He was the non-foods manager. And after it became Food for Less, Bob Kalin rented that store next to Paris Market, next to AUG's there. He rented the vacant building there, and he put a store in there himself. And he called it Bob's Discount Store. That's what it was called, Bob's Discount. I went in there and I would sell him stuff since he had a discount store there. That was in like 86 and 87. For about a year or so, I sold him stuff. And he would buy it from me, and then he'd resell it. And I went on a trip, like to Europe, with Gene and Eileen. And when I came back from that trip, the dang place was completely empty. There was nobody there. Bob had closed it down and sold everything and moved all the shelving out and everything, and it was just a vacant building. So I went to Gus Paris and I said, Gus, how much would you charge to rent this for me? Rent this building after? He said $250 a month. Well, that's when I said, well, shucks, I think I ought to rent that and open a store here in Salt Lake, because then I would be able to. Because I had my little store down there next to Darren's house.
Yeah.
That we had, open on Saturdays, but it was so little you couldn't do much,
Right.
It was all full of stuff. We would open it up on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and I'd go to the swap meet on Sunday, but on Saturday we'd have it open on Saturday and sell on Saturday and sell my bags and other stuff out in front of the store, because they never had the curb and gutter then, and all you could pull right up in front of the store with your car. There's gravel there on the sides. So that's what we did. I started my store there in 1987, 2 years before I ever started at Westwood Discount.
Yeah, I remember that was my first job, was at SOS.
Yeah, see, we, in 87 and then in 88, and I'm going down to Orem, Utah to see Grandma all the time, with Eileen. And that's where I met this guy at the Osco store. Osco Drug.
I remember those price stickers.
The Osco stickers. Anyway, he said, I want to see you. I got a deal for you. So I went down there to see him, and he took me his back room, and he had all these pallets full of Christmas and Halloween and Easter and all the leftovers they had from the previous year. They had them all shrink wrapped and on pallets. And he said, Payless Drug does not want to buy our, where are we at? We're not at Fort Hall already, are we? What's that sign say?
Pocatello, Chubbuck.
We're clear to Pocatello already?
I guess.
You're not serious. We went through Fort Hall. I didn't even know it.
I guess not. You've been in the storytelling mode.
Good grief, that's fast. I'm shocked. Man, oh man. Either you're going 100 miles an hour or something. I can't figure that out.
No, I was going below the speed limit.
Yeah, because I didn't even see Fort Hall. Did you see the casino and everything?
Oh, I saw the casino, yeah.
Okay, now you got to be getting off here then at Pocatello Creek Road. Don't go into Chubbuck. You don't want to go into Chubbuck. You want to go to the Pocatello Creek exit. So anyway, he asked how much I'd give him for all that stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh, how about $1,500? And he said, done. Let's write me out a check. And here's all the managers' names of all of the other Osco stores in Salt Lake and Provo. You go see them. You tell them that I sent you, and that they've got these same kind of things in their back rooms. They need to get rid of it because Payless will not give us any money for our stuff. And whatever you give us is better than we're going to get from Payless, because they're just going to have us throw them away or something. So I went to every one of the Paylesses in Provo and all the Paylesses in Salt Lake. There were like 12 of them. And I would go and I'd unload the pallets. I couldn't put the pallets in my trailer. I had to just put them in my blue trailer that I've got, and I'd haul them clear to Salt Lake. And we rented storage units where I had one already rented over there by there about 15th West. I got 7 storage units. I kept renting them. I'd fill one up, I'd rent another one. I'd fill one up, I'd rent another one. I'd fill one up, I'd rent another one. And I had all this stuff. I must have spent about $15,000, $20,000. And so then that's when I came to this Pocatello store here at Westwood Mall.
With a bunch of holiday stuff?
Well, I had all the Halloween, I had all the Easter, I had anything that was seasonal, I had it. So first I tried to keep it separated, but that was pretty hard to do, so I had to bring everything up, Anyway, I went to that store and they had at least until March. This was in September, August or September of '89, and they said, well, we have at least until March of 1990. So I said, well, can I run under your lease for those months, and then I'll make my own lease in 1990. And that's what I did. I ran under Osco's lease until 1990, and that's when Dawn moved the toy store from the warehouse to that building in 1990.
Because you were running it.
Well, I didn't need all that space.
Yeah.
He said, you take the back half of the store, and I'll take the front half of the store, and we'll split the rent in half. Okay. Because I could, but I didn't have that much stuff, After I'd sold all my Halloween, I sold all my Christmas, I sold all my New Year's stuff, now I'm into Easter. And so that's what I did. And he moved everything from the warehouse to that building, took the front half of the building, and then a few months later he says, I need 2 of your rows in the back because I bought a costume shop in American Falls. I need 2 of your rows to put my costumes and stuff on. So I moved all my merchandise I had on those rows over a couple rows. Then later he says, I want to put in this teacher section. This is about 1991. I need 3 rows of your area to put in this teacher section, 1991. Oh man, okay. So then 1992 came, and he says, I need more space, Dad. Why don't you rent that store next to there where I am now? Because it's been vacant since 1987. See, Farmer Jack just locked the door and left. That was Kroger that owns Fred Meyer and Smith's and all those.
Farmer Jack owned?
Well, it was Kroger company owned Farmer Jack.
Oh.
And they bought it from Safeway, see? They bought the equipment and everything.
But
and
Farmer Jack went under, or?
Yeah, they just closed the stores. I don't know either that division of Kroger's wasn't doing well, but they signed a 10-year lease in 1986 with the mall people for $5,000 a month. And
so they were still paying on the lease?
Oh, had 10 more years on it. 1992, they had 4 more years on. They paid for 5 years. They paid for nothing. There was nobody in there. From 1987 to 1992, there was nobody there. It was vacant, but the landlord still got the rent every month because all their stuff was still in the building. They never took anything out. They never took the shelving out. They never took the meat equipment or the bakery equipment out. They never did nothing. They just locked the door and left. So when I contacted them and told them I'd like to rent it, they said, well, how much can you pay? We're paying $5,000 a month rent now. We'd like you to take that over. I said, well, I can't pay you $5,000 a month. No way. But I tell you what I will do. I said, I'll put a store in there and I'll give you 10% of the gross revenue. I'll send you a statement every month, how much I sold and how much you'll get. And he said, well, how much are you selling now? I said, probably anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 a month I'm selling. Well, that wasn't a true statement. I couldn't tell him I was selling $800, $900. You know.
Oh, so you weren't even doing that $15,000 a month?
Huh?
You weren't selling $15,000?
Not really. I mean, maybe with Don too, but I couldn't count what Don was selling. You know, it was with discount stuff.
Right.
And I went to Vegas a couple times and bought some boost, you know, so I had merchandise. Plus I had a warehouse full of stuff at the other warehouse on 658 South First or 856 South First.
Right.
I had it full of goods, and I was just going to take it and put it all on the shelves and sell it. And that's when they burned the warehouse down in 1992. Before I got a chance to get it in the building.
Oh man.
So anyway, that was devastating.
So, the Farmer Jack people, they were okay with you?
Yeah, he finally agreed. Okay. I says, so I opened it up and I started selling $10,000 to $12,000 to $15,000 a month because I was buying merchandise from suppliers. Plus I would go to Vegas and get booths where I could get bargains so I could sell them cheaper. And so every month I sent them a report along with a check of $1,500 to $2,000, you know, $1,400 or whatever it was that I sent them 10% of whatever I took in. And they were satisfactory. They were satisfied with that because it was better. It went against their $5,000 they were paying the landlord. And these Jew boys in New York wanted to sell the mall. They wanted $2 million for the mall. Oh man, I thought, oh shoot, $2 million? I could never think about buying the mall for $2 million. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy it when it was for sale for $2 million. And the people that did buy it for $2 million or $2.5 million, when they finally had in like 2000 and I think they sold like 2003 or 4. They sold it. These Jew boys got out from under it because they would come out once or twice a year and just walk around with their little hats on, their little yarmulkes and their little long coats. These two Jew brothers, you know, that owned that mall from New York. And Hal Luker was the manager. He was a nice guy. He managed the mall for them.
Can I park behind you?
Yeah, I'm not going anyplace tomorrow. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm not going anyplace. Well, that's a good ride. It sure was interesting. That's how I got going in the store.
That is a good story.
It's quite a story, really.
And you're still only paying a percentage of
Oh, no, hell no. No, the new people wouldn't go for that.
How much are you paying now?
60, my store is $6,800 for my store and $1,000 for the other store, plus they charge me $2,200 for my storage places. So $6,800 and $2,200 is 80, almost $9,000 a month I give them. Which I'm gonna have to cough up again another couple days. Another $9,000.
You dropped this.
What is that?
Idaho Division of Veterans.
Oh, it's a guy that wanted to know if he could do anything for me.